Shalom. Shalom, Israel. Coming back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be going into the book of Psalms, chapter 15. Who shall abide in the Lord's tabernacle, right? Who shall dwell in the Lord's holy hill, right? The kingdom of heaven, right? We're going to get into it because we know that the Israelites are going to get the kingdom of heaven, but we're going to get in the scriptures, right? And we're going to see which Israelites are going to get into the kingdom, right? Because not all Israelites are going to go either. Start off with the book of Psalms, chapter 15, verse 1, and it reads, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? Right? Who shall dwell in the Lord's tabernacle? Who shall dwell in the holy hill? Right? Who shall dwell in Jerusalem? Right? The kingdom of heaven. Right? Let's get the book of Psalms 24, and verse 1. And it reads, The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. Right? So we know that the Most High God created the earth, right? He created the world, and everything that dwells in the world belongs unto the Most High God. Verse 2, For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? Right? Verse 4, He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. Right? Verse 5, He shall receive the blessing from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob, Salah. Right? So those who are seeking the Most High God, those who are walking in righteousness in these law, statute, commandments, right? Those who have a pure heart, right? They're doing this sincerely, right? Those who have clean hands, right? Those are the characteristics of those Israelites that's going to dwell in the holy city, right? In the holy hill of the Most High God. Let's get the book of Daniel. Salakia. Book of Daniel 7 and verse 18. And it reads, But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Right? So the saints of the Most High is going to take the kingdom, right? Are going to dwell in the kingdom of heaven. And we know who the saints are, right? When you go to the book of Psalms, chapter 50, and verse 5, it reads, Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Right? And we know that those who made the covenant with the Most High God are the Israelites. Book of Psalms 148 and verse 14, and it reads, He also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye the Lord. So the saints are the Israelites who are going to possess the kingdom, right? Go back to the book of Psalms 15 and verse 2, and it reads, I'm going to start at 1 again. Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. Right? So he said, He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness. Right? And what's righteousness? Let's get it. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6. It's like you. Chapter 6, verse 25. And it reads, And it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us. So righteousness is what? To be righteous was to do the commandments, observing to do all these commandments, which the Lord had commanded us, right? So he said, He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, those who observe and do the law, statutes, and commandments, as it read in Deuteronomy 6 and 25. It says, and speaketh the truth in his heart. Right? And what's the truth? Psalms 119 and verse 142. And it reads, thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. Right? So the law is the truth. So he that worketh righteousness, right? He that who observe and do the commandments, and that speak the law in his heart, in his mind, right? Constantly meditating therein day and night. As reason Joshua, right? Chapter 1, verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Right? So he that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor. Right? So he that doesn't backbite with his tongue against his neighbor, who doesn't do evil towards his neighbor, another Israelite, right, or take a reproach against his neighbor, right? Get the book of Exodus, chapter 23. Salakia. And it reads, thou shalt not raise a false report, put not thy hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness, right? Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment, right? So you're not supposed to follow a multitude of evildoers, to do evil with them, right? You're not supposed to get with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness, right? You don't know what's going on, but you're there and you're giving your thoughts on what's happening. You don't even know what started it or how things got up to that point. But you're there being an unrighteous witness, right? So we gotta abstain from these things. He says, thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Right? So we can't be unrighteous witnesses, right? We can't speak against our neighbors. We can't get with the multitude of the evil to do evil towards our neighbors. He says, let's get the book of Psalms. I'm gonna start at verse 4. In whose eyes a vile person is contemned, but he honored them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. Right? So he said, he that putteth not out his money to usury. And when someone puts their money out to usury, what is that? Right? That's like when you lend to another Israelite. They say, hey, can I borrow some money? Can I borrow $20? And you say, yeah, I got you, but I need 35 back. Right? That's usury. You're lending upon usury. And the Most High God said not to do that to your own people. Right? But to a heathen, we can do those things. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse 19. And it reads, thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother, usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. Verse 20. Unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all that thou settest thy hand to, in the land whither thou goest to possess it. Right? So he said, unto your brother, don't lend upon usury, but unto a stranger, a heathen, someone of another nation, you can lend upon usury, right? But to your own people, it's either you give it to them or whatever you give them, don't expect more than what you give them. They return exactly back what you have lent them, right? So like, yeah, book of Exodus 23. It's like, yeah, I believe it's 22. Let me see. It's like, yeah. Let me see something. It's like, yeah. Matter of fact, I'm going to get Leviticus. Book of Leviticus. 25. Book of Leviticus chapter 25, verse 36. And it reads, Take thou no usury of him or increase, but fear thy God, that thy brother may live with thee. Right? So we can't take usury of our brother, right? We can't lend to them and expect an increase, right? We have to help our people of our nation, right? Get the book of Ezekiel. 22, verse 12. It says, In thee have I taken gifts to shed blood. Thou hast taken usury and increase, and thou hast greatly gained of thy neighbors by extortion, and hast forgotten me, saith the Lord. Right? Ezekiel 18. Because our people was going off. They was lending upon usury. The Most High God said, don't do that. Ezekiel 18:8. He that hath not given forth upon usury, neither hath taken any increase, that hath withdrawn his hand from iniquity, hath executed true judgment between man and man. Right? Verse 9. Hath walked in my statutes, and hath kept my judgments, to deal truly. He is just. He shall surely live, saith the Lord God. Right? So we can lend upon usury towards our brothers. Right? I want to go back to the verse 1 in Psalms real quick. And he says, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? Right? So we know that the Israelites, right, those who are walking in the law, statute, commandments, those who are observing and doing the commandments, right, those who are speaking the truth in their minds, right, the laws in their minds. Right? Let me get the book of Revelation 21 and verse 12. And then it reads, And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and the names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Right? So we know that the kingdom of heaven, who's going to possess it, is the saints, the Israelites. The 12 gates, it has the names of the children of Israel. So we know who's going to the kingdom of heaven, but only those who are working righteousness, right, and speaking the the law in their minds, right, not lending upon usury, right. But Lord willing, this video was edifying. To the next video, Shalom.